I also want to pay a very special regard to the leader of Hungary, Viktor Orban, who's a great man and highly respected by everybody. He's done a brilliant job of leading, and he's a very, very special person.
That was, of course, President Donald Trump praising one of his favorite autocrats, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, in a video message aired at a CPAC event in Budapest. Orban was the event's keynote speaker. And yes, that is the CPAC that started here in America. Orban said that Trump's re-election, quote, changed the world. I think everyone would agree with him there. He also laid out a new plan to reshape the European Union, a plan that includes taking, quote, Europe back from migrants and pushing for a, quote, Christian culture in schools based on national principles. Sound familiar? Michelle Norris is back with us, and joining the conversation is Adam Serwer, a staff writer at The Atlantic. And Adam, you wrote this amazing piece that came out this week, kind of about this war on education, and that there's a through line, and it's a part of a larger plan. You said there's a comprehensive attack on knowledge itself. What do you think is behind this, and how does that connect to what we're seeing in Hungary as well?
Well, I think there are two things that are behind it. One is that the Trump administration sees educated people, college-educated people, as a sort of class enemy as a result of them trending left over the past few years. So, they see colleges themselves as sort of liberal factories that manufacture their political opposition, and they want to shut that down. They want to turn these institutions into propaganda mills for their own ideology. And the second thing is that they don't want any empirical knowledge that can be used to foster political opposition against the administration. They don't want any sort of high-level empirical studies that will do things like make the case for taxing the wealthy or regulating industry or ensuring that people have equal rights under the law. Because as you just noted, with Orban's description of what he wants society to be like, he wants a specific class of people to be above everybody else. And that's exactly what's happening here in the United States.
And Adam, I'm going to read you back to you. In the same piece, you say, by destroying knowledge, Trumpists seek to make the country more amenable to their political domination and to prevent meaningful democratic checks on their behavior. And Michelle, I mean, it seems to me that that is exactly what Donald Trump and the people around him want to do. And the damage that even what they're doing now is, we're looking at generations worth of damage here.
Yeah. And this is where this segment is in conversation with the last segment. Mm-hmm. I've been reading a lot of Frederick Douglass lately. Mm-hmm. And, he seems to be speaking through the ages at this moment right now. He said that knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Now, he was talking about slavery, but he was also talking about just having, being oppressed. He said that he prayed for freedom and education answered the call. He also said that a tyrant's power is prescribed by the endurance of those he is trying to oppress. Mm-hmm. And that speaks to us right now. And that's why what President Garber is doing and Howard is so important. That's why people need to understand that standing up to this, they do back down. We've seen that in the courts. They're flooding the zone and they're trying to figure out where they can move forward. But this is a moment where people do have to figure out how to stand up. And knowledge is their enemy. They don't want people to be informed. They don't want people to be able to file lawsuits against them. They don't want people to be engaged. They want people to be checked out. That's why journalism is so important in this matter, because journalism is a form of education to, give people a muscular sense of what they can do in this moment. Mm-hmm. Adam Serwer's piece was fantastic because this is a war on knowledge right now.
Our colleague Alex Wagner was in Hungary recently, and she did a pretty compelling interview. Let's watch some of the footage of that to discuss.
If you look at the state of this country, you see the effects of this corrupt governance. I mean, our healthcare system is in a miserable state. The education system is in a very bad state. If you compare our country's economic growth to the countries in the region, it's lagging behind. So if you would evaluate him by objective terms, you would see that
he's weak.
Yeah, he's weak.
Adam, what do you make of the comparisons between Hungary and America? I kind of have a feeling the direction you're going to go in, given your amazing piece, but let's hear from you.
Well, thank you for all the kind words. I mean, look, I would note that despite all the harm that Viktor Orban has done to the prosperity of his own country, he's still in power. So I think, part of the issue here is if you do not have, if people are entirely reliant on propaganda from the regime or its allies, then it's very difficult to extract democratic accountability because the public cannot be informed as to what the administration is doing. And so I think you have to look at it in that light specifically. Trump said, "I attack the media because I don't want any of my supporters to believe you." Now that applies to everything else. That applies to scientific institutions, medical institutions. And so, in the end, it would be a mistake to rely on some sort of backlash, like Trump is going to do all this damage and then people will get mad and vote him out or vote Republicans out. What they're going for here is a means to prevent people from exercising their democratic self-determination because they don't have the information to do so.
Michelle, one of the things that is really interesting about all of this and kind of connects it as well is their attack on DEI, right? It's all, and Adam in his piece kind of talks about all of these different aspects of it. And on Truth Social yesterday, President Trump saying that he fired the director of the National Portrait Gallery because of DEI. You also have this story in Axios about the White House rolling out what they called merit-based hirings, right? So they're no longer going to use, in their eyes, DEI. All of this is connected.
Do we really need this administration to lecture us about merit-based hiring?
Who could you possibly?
I mean, really, do not lecture us about merit-based hiring because the hypocrisy is just so glaring, And it is interesting how DEI has been rolled back. That it has been demonized and then weaponized and then cauterized to use that to roll back actual progress. We talked about the graduates. This should have been their inheritance, inheriting a world that is as diverse in its leadership as it is in its composition. And that is not what they are inheriting. They have attacked DEI based on the idea that it discriminates against white people with absolutely no proof of that happening.
Right.
No proof at all. And what is sad is the institutions, and in many cases they're doing that to protect themselves, to inoculate themselves against, legal redress. Yeah. But this is, again, I go back to Harvard saying, Costco, for instance, saying our values are not situational. They will not be dictated by the present occupant of 1600. And
because Costco will be here after.
Costco is doing just fine.
Correct.
Costco is
who's not doing fine?
Right.
Target, who did roll back their
Right.
DEI, and then black people protested and stopped going to Target.
So, diversity is the companies that support diversity that are staying with it. The institutions are doing it not because of some sort of moral argument. Let's be clear about that. They're usually doing it because it's good business.
Right.
They're usually doing it because they're trying to create the workforce that this country needs. We should note that we are in the middle of an industrial revolution, although it's not necessarily based on industry, it's based on technology.
Right.
In terms of climate change, in terms of AI, in terms of lithium batteries.
Yeah.
We are not necessarily advantaged in all of those fields. And so when we attack knowledge, when we attack DEI, we are actually disadvantaging the country that we live in and providing advantages to the countries that we're trying to compete with, China, India, Israel, and the creation of lithium batteries. So this is, again, I'm going to quote Frederick Douglass, who said that those who tried to, I'm going to get this wrong, but basically those who tried to oppress him actually suffered as much as he did.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. This may make them feel good to create a class of people who, have an easy pass through life. It does not help America. It does not help the rest of us. And in the end, it actually does not help them.
Well, and look at Harvard. Antonia's reporting and what she was saying about how the students are so galvanized, whereas previously they were fighting the administration. Yeah. And now he basically is radicalizing a new generation of the best and the brightest.
Right. Against him.
Against him. Right.